But since we're on the subject of Vallejo. We didn't talked a lot about Vallejo. We might as well just go and get into it. Time for another installment of the V list. Yeah. All right. So it's a little different for you, Jason. All right. I'm creating a scenario for you. Everybody else, I just kind of asked them for a list, but it's a scenario, so you got to think a little bit, right? All right. So you going on a 3-day fishing excursion with some fishing buddies. All right. You are the one providing the music, and you only have enough room on your listening device to store 5 artists' music on it to entertain y'all during the excursion. They and your buddies are not all necessarily huge fans of rap, but they all respect the genre. All of the artists must be Vallejo based artists. Who y'all listening to over those 3 days?
Well, how I'm gonna be on the water without water on the top of the playlist? E40 number one,
For
Mac
sure.
Dre number two. Um, I love Be Legit, probably number
I love
three.
legit.
Um, And actually, my favorite artist right now, and I'm gonna just say this list is in no particular order, so I don't want to say somebody else is better than somebody else, but
Hmm.
number four has to be La Russell. I love this kid, man. This
Yeah.
this dude is so inspiring to myself. Um, that's number four. I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but that's number four, and then number five, sheesh. Um, You know what? I feel like, does it have to be rap?
No, it does not have to be rap, just from Vallejo.
Okay. Then I would have to go with, I mean, you can't just have have that bass slapping in your ear the whole fishing day. So I'm gonna throw in some confunction. And I'm an honorable mention her.
For sure. For
Hmm.
sure. For sure. There are gonna be some guys with like, man, okay, the her is gonna be a break from some of the rap, but then there's gonna be some of your fishing buddies like, man, where that 40 at? Where that Dre at? Come on, man. We out here fighting these ass fish, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
that's a
right.
that's a dope list, and I respect the honorable mention. Like I say on most time when I do this, um, everybody has had her on the list or at least one honorable mention, just except for one person, but everybody else had, like, you gotta, at some point, she's too talented and her sound is too smooth. Sometimes that fight, you gotta calm down after a hard fight like that. Sometimes I need to
Yeah,
calm down for a
yeah.
minute, you know what I mean? Change gears and then get
Exactly.
back into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, and her music is dope, but it's not just so. Me and my wife was able to go see her in concert in front of an orchestra, and so
Oh, that's
in
dope.
so the orchestra, and this was at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. And so when we saw her, she performed a couple of songs with an orchestra, then the orchestra left, and then she proceeded to put on one of the dopest concerts I've ever seen, but it was because of how she did it. She played three different instruments while she's performing. She played the guitar. She jumped on the piano. I think she jumped on. She might have played the bass. I don't know.
And
It
it
was
was just her on the
amazing.
stage.
Yes, it was just her. It was just
Wow.
her, and she was able. It just shows you how talented she was or she is. And whatever her mom and dad, poured into her was just, man, it's crazy because she could sing, she could play instruments, she could write music. I heard that she was affiliated with Alicia Keys at one point early on in her career. Um, but yeah, man. And one thing before we go to the next subject that I want to say about La Russell is this dude inspires me every day. Um,
Mhm.
because and he's probably one of the few artists I would say in the country whose fan base could go from 70 years old to 3 years old. I be seeing
Facts.
little kids on
Facts.
stage. reciting his music. Shit, I'm gonna be 50 next year. I love his music. I know cats older than me that that love his music. So he has this huge range of age groups that just love his music, and I like his business, how business savvy he is, as well as how he pushes his social media, presence, which I've kind of took a couple of things from, because he always talks about providing content, and content is you could do content every day if you want. So like he is like, take your content and spread it out, and which is what I'll do sometimes, where you'll see me post a fish, me catching a fish. I done caught 4 or 5 fish that day, but I'm only posting one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I'll have something to post, some more content later on, down the road.
for sure.
So yeah, and I learned that from LaRussell. I mean, he's an amazing young man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to LaRussell, man. I agree. Very talented, very gifted, very creative, and very innovative with how he approaches business, how he approaches his fan base. He understands. He's like just like you. He studies his fan. He knows who is listening and who's not. He knows where to go and where not to go, and he's capitalizing on it. You know what I mean? And he did it homegrown. Like he didn't have to go outside of his home, his childhood home, really, to get his career jumping off.
Man, talk
You know
about
what I
it.
mean? Just straight homegrown, and then that's just the epitome of that. Like you said in Vallejo, it's not owners, it's inners. That's just the epitome of it right there, And when you hear me and us and people from Vallejo bragging and talking about Vallejo, we don't think we're better than anybody. We just proud of who we are, and it's like David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrates David because he defeated the giant. Well, we David every day. We had to be David every day. We still
Right.
David. No matter how much we do, people in Oakland still hollering, but what about Oakland though? Oakland, you know what I mean? And no disrespect to Oakland, because we're little brothers or sisters or cousins or whatever you want to call us to Oakland, and we share a lot of similarities and a lot of interests. But Vallejo has done it on its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we just Oakland actually is very similar. They're very prideful about their city. I will say that my mom is from Oakland,
Mm-hmm.
and she went to Oakland Oakland Tech. She actually
Mm-hmm.
went to school with the Pointer Sisters.
Oh, that's dope.
But my dad is from Vallejo. They ended up meeting. My dad convinced her we gonna raise our family in Vallejo. They started off in Millersville off Ohio Street, and then when I was born, we moved to Rancho. And then when I was 15, we ended up moving to Glen Cove. And so, I'm saying that to say, man, when my teammates used to hate me in pro ball because I would only bump Vallejo music, and this is back with tapes and CDs that just came out.
Yeah.
So don't let me get the CD thing in the clubhouse, because all I'm
Yeah.
bumping is music they ain't ever heard of, because I'm playing with guys from the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Chicago, down south, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, everybody want to play their different music, but I'm like, man, I'm from Vallejo. Like this what we listening to, you know what I'm saying? And
For sure.
and and I actually put a lot of people on, to cast like 40 and Bila, Mac Dre back in the day.
Yeah. Your
To all
story.
my teammates, any of my teammates, old school teammates back in the day with the Rangers or the Cubs, I put you on 40 and Dre.
For sure. And hey, and your story in terms of that sounds like mine. When I went to Tennessee State University in 1992, I had Mac Dre with me, I had E40 with me, I had Mac Mall with me, and you know what I'm saying? And and they didn't the same thing. They coming with the music from Memphis, coming with their music from Chicago, coming with their music from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And people from everywhere. And I was slapping E40. You come in my room, you're gonna hear Mac Dre and E40. What's this? Yeah, y'all don't know about it. And to this day now, and with all due respect, to this day now, most of those guys will say to you, man, the first person that put me on the E40 was Johnny King. First put me on the Mac Dre was Johnny King, man. I
Yes,
ain't know nothing
sir.
about it, man. I didn't know who he was, and all of a sudden look at him now. So man, that's dope, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
getting we getting close to the end, brother. It's been fun, Jason, man.